Good afternoon, everyone. It is my honor to introduce to you our guest speaker, Dr. M.D. Saburkan, the founder and chairman of Daffodil International University, and the Daffodil family has been striving to be one of the leading ICT and education providers in Bangladesh. He started his career as an IT businessman at the very beginning of the 90s. He could foresee the booming demand of IT skilled personnel in abroad and merge his IT knowledge and vision with the orthodox education system of the country to make a poverty-free, self-sufficient generation. Different wings under the large shade of the Daffodil family have been involved in more than a dozen of large-scale projects and successfully managed to find sure solutions for ICT services and education. Dr. Sabur Khan was elected as the first vice president of the Association of the Universities of Asia and the Pacific. Currently, he is carrying the flag of the World Union of Small and Medium Enterprises in Bangladesh as ambassador. Dr. Khan has been honored as a board member of Eurasian Universities Union in 2021. And he is also the standing committee member of the Asian University Presidents Forum. He was holding the position of director of World Information Technology and Services Alliance, and chairman of the Global Trade Committee of WITSA. He had been elected as the president of Dhaka Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the year 2013. He is also the former president of Bangladesh Computers sorry for that, Samiti or BCS. Dear participants, join me in welcoming our guest speaker, Dr. M.D. Sabur Khan. Let us give him a virtual round of applause.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the introduction. So, good morning from Bangladesh, and good afternoon from in respect of Philippines. So, thank you very much. So, again, thank you very much, and thank you very much for selecting the IT Educators Conference. And as you already aware that due to cause of the COVID-19, no doubt it is already proof that without IT, the next year or the next century will be very tough to survive. So it is the time for our educators, it is the time for the education industry, it is the time for our faculty, it is the time for the student also, and all of the educational stakeholders to embrace the IT technology as much as possible in our teaching and learning. And we already understood this COVID-19 has resulted in school shutdown, and a lot of the problem is already arises. And the 1.4 billion children are out of the classroom due to this pandemic. And at the same time, a lot of 180 million students via television and a lot of other, especially the China is dominating in this area. But I'm sure that not only the China, that other countries also following the same trend to just survival. Because I'm sure that the first time a lot of the education institute, they are not very much aware about it, but slowly, everyone is coming forward and they're trying their best to cope up with the scenario. And at the same time, there's now the Industrial Revolution 4 and the Education 4. So what is going on? I think slowly, how the situation is going to be developed. As I already mentioned that due to cause of this COVID-19, it is already an indication that without technology, we cannot sustain or we cannot survive in the long run. So I must say that Industry 4.0 provides new paradigms. That the 5G is already implemented in a lot of countries. And at the same time, that supercomputer is also this is already on the way. So that's why I should say that a lot of development is coming. And at the same time, that with 2030, there is a sustainable development goals is also identified by the UN. and where that a lot of the component is covered from the education sector, and especially the number 4, the quality education, and of course also the mention the technological development. So the digital divide. So these sorts of matter is already identified for reaching our goal for 2030. So I should say the education for the university need to provide unrivaled student experience. And as I mentioned, the student also need to be involved with the technology, because I'm student, and I must say that due to cause of the technological development, the student is much aware than faculty. I hope that no faculty will misunderstand me, because this is the real scenario. Because all of these people, what happened? They are after their born or after their just initiative, they are seeing the technological development. So today the buzzword is big data, the Internet of Things, blockchain, 3D printing, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, augmented reality, virtual reality. So all of this creativity, innovation, technological development, and diversified of technology must need to nurture in our educational area, and especially again, the faculty and student, both of them need to work hand to hand. Because again, I must emphasize that the student is much more smarter than the faculty, because the faculty is when they are starting their journey, maybe a lot of cases the technological development was not organized like what already done last few years. So as again, the technological revolution that will fundamentally after the way of life, we live, we work, relate to one another. Because in all phenomenon, the transformation of the technology is really experienced day by day better than earlier. So of course, again, I should see it is the time to rethink the teaching transformation. The teaching transformation, if we are not enable the artificial intelligence and other technological development, then what will be happen? That we will be deprive our young student, will be deprived to develop the new generation who will run the country, who will run their own career. So that is why you should see that in the classroom, the student always try to connect with the internet, always try to connect with the smartphone. So that is why I should say personalized adaptive learning is also need to be emphasized nowadays. We need to integrate teachers into the process and embraces role of institution. Institution also need to redefine the policy. The management also need to aware, and they need to see the what best practices is going on by other universities, because due to cause of the internet, due to cause of this Google, YouTube, Facebook, social networking, it's very easy to identify what sorts of best practices is going on in other country or other institute. So assessment also need to be reimagined. Because as I already mentioned, the technological deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, digital experience, these sorts of all of this technological development need to be summarized and need to be bringing and need to integrate. So the what happened, that the assessment, all sorts of tests, all sorts of this plagiarism and these sorts of matter we can easily integrate with the system. So what happened? Very easily we can identify the merits and quality or the intention or the career mapping of our student, regardless who is studying in which subject or which course. And again, intelligence, digital and physical states. And that what we love to say physical, the smart campus, the physical and digital, this coming in the physical, because smart approach need to be ensured in the campus. Because in a lot of cases, maybe students are not able to come to the class because due to COVID, we understood is one member is affected in the family. I think all other member need to also stay safe and stay quarantined until they can identify themselves as they are risk-free from this COVID-19. So maybe we don't know, still we do not know how long this COVID-19 will be exist. So in that context, what happened? We must need to be integrated with digital and physical technology. So the smart campus, through the smart campus, student and teacher both can interact, both can keep in touch with one to another. And technologies such as learning analytics would be increasingly important in helping tutors to develop holistic view of learner engagement and progress. Because you see, we need the monitoring every day through the technology. The what is students' attitude is going on, what their behavior is going on. As I mentioned, if one of the family member is going to affected in COVID-19, all of the family member is need to be quarantined. And at the same time, you know that due to COVID-19, a lot of cases student or parents or some of their financial backbone is going to be loose. So in that context, student, a lot of the analytics also we need to know why he is not attentive, why she is not attentive, what problem is going on. Through these analytics tools, we can analyze this properly so that we can take the proper remedy before student going to be the dropout. And definitely there is no alternative of the smart classroom, because you know that the all-in-one, because we need to remove the slowly the blackboard or whiteboard. We need to integrate the smart classroom, smart board, and collaboration, teach, drive and design will help the leaders and learners of tomorrow. As I mentioned, because I'll give you some indication also how we should move tomorrow, because tomorrow the analytical tools we need to be emphasized more precisely and more focused, need to be more focused on the technology, because the e-portfolio can establish which will involve more focus on the skill and competency. Because you know that nowadays, if you go to the social networking, if you know the student email ID or student social networking ID, very easily he can analyze his behavior, his intention, what sorts of career or what sorts of focus or liking or disliking he or she has. So these sorts of matter we can bring in the e-portfolio, and that can be established and bringing them in the skill and identify their competencies. And as we know that the World Economic Forum is last year, they already focused the what sorts of job in future, because job category is also going to already change. You know that this COVID is already giving another new job opportunity, virtual career, and you can do the job from the home. So the organization can assess or track all of your jobs through the virtual portfolio. So the World Economic Forum is already also giving an emphasis that all of the technological area, you know, the data analysis, computer and mathematical job. So database and technological related job is going to be the more focus in next year, just like 2021 or 2022. And definitely traditional pedagogies and practices were least digitally adaptable, because we know that a lot of the KPI, we know a lot of the pedagogies. So these all of the matters we need to be integrated digital, because as already repeatedly I am mentioning, without technology, it will be really very tough to make our own sustainability, which COVID-19 has made us to rethink about this sustainability. And education system, resilient education system also need to be adapt and transform itself in the face of adversity. So this all cycle, I think we need to be ensured through this educational arena. And of course, improving the quality and accessibility of education. Because nowadays, you know, as I already mentioned, students have the smartphone, students have the internet facility, and sometimes students may not possible to come to the class physically. So we need to improve the quality and accessibility. So from any places, anywhere, teacher, student, management, all of the matter can be identified through the system. And investments in technological infrastructure, because earlier universities or educational institutions more focused to develop the building, develop the infrastructure, only this building and other thing. But now the investment need to focus technology, technological infrastructure, data center, or hosting matter, or the speed matter, other internet facility, these sorts of security, cyber security, these sorts of matter need to be integrated or emphasized more than earlier. And again, as I mentioned a few minutes back, the ensure the physical educational for sustainability, the physical and digital. Without these two combination, I think it will be tough in near future to sustain our education industry. Of course, update curriculum and focusing on outcome-based education. If the student after completion their education, if they are not getting the job, if they cannot get the right direction, and at the same time, teacher also think in earlier stage, they will come to the class and they will conduct the class and following the course curriculum, that student will not get the benefit because student need to adapt with the new trend, with the new development and new opportunity and the job market. So that is why repeatedly our teacher, our management, all of the educators need to be developed course curriculum based on the demand of the market, demand of the industry, demand of the job market. And definitely ensuring support to the students, young people, and their families also. Because sometimes this is the time, maybe students due to cause of this pandemic, they become frustrated. So sometimes the support need to ensure with the family also, need to interact with the family, need to interact with the friend. I think psychological matter also need to be addressed to the university. Otherwise, a lot of cases, maybe some young, vibrant, creative, innovative student may lose their right track. And of course, all of the point what I mentioned, to ensure this one, we must need to ensure also the teachers training. Before going to the class or periodically, teachers also need to get the training. If the teacher is not update their technological development, they feel shy, then they cannot give the proper training or proper education to the student. So that's why all of the educators need to think teachers training, which should be the mandatory. There should not be any compromise. Research should be focused on real world impact. We know that our university is a lot of cases, they are focused in publishing a lot of journal in various international publications. They do a lot of research, but now the research should be focused on real world impact. If there is no impact on the research, I think in the long run, that research may not be rewarded by the relevant. And again, as I mentioned, the data and analysis, you need the data. Before going to drop out of any of the student, if the teacher do not understand the trend, that why he is not or she is not regular in the class, why he or she is not able to pay the course fee or the tuition fee to the university, why he or she is not attentive to the class, why he or she is earlier they are getting the good marks, but now they are not getting the good marks. What is the problem? So these sorts of data and its analysis is need to be ensured through the system, and the teacher and the management need to look after about the analysis. Otherwise, what happened? We cannot address our right student in the right time. And ensure the smart funding and digitalization. As I already mentioned earlier, the digitalization. But you need a lot of the students are not able to buy any smartphone, buy any devices or the laptop and other things, or they don't have the enough opportunity to buy the bandwidth, internet bandwidth. So these sorts of funding opportunity or smart funding need to be ensured through these different bank or other financial institute or donor agency, so that the student, or I should say that the challenging student or financial challenging student may get some funding facility to recover these sorts of problems. So they should also enter to the digital hub or digital role. Universities need to strive to the nucleus for all research collaboration in academic and industry. As I mentioned, that all of the research need to be impact based. So what happened? The university can play the very good role because the university is always getting all of the component and a lot of the ecosystem they develop inside the university. So that's why what happened? The research collaboration with the industry and academia need to be also getting more focused than earlier. So just I'm showing some of the initiative by our university. This is our campus. I think it is this campus scenario is before COVID. Now the scenario is changed. Is a lot of the new building is coming. So we already giving the free laptop to every student. Since 2010, we are providing until today almost 40,000 laptops to our students. And we also enable teaching apprenticeship fellowship. As I mentioned, the teachers need to get the training. So what we did in our university, we developed a teaching apprenticeship fellowship So if any university or any education institute is feeling interest to cooperate with us, we will love to share our experience with you. So before recruitment, the teacher is going through a 1 year training, which is called Teaching Apprenticeship Fellowship. And they are just getting the working as a TA, teaching assistant or research assistant. And between this time, they get the all technological development and student just interaction. They also conducted through this system. We also introduced some digital steps for our own sustainability, like we developed the smart edu system. So through the smart edu system, I think there is more than 50 modules we developed. And we developed this Python platform because the artificial intelligence and deep learning will be one of the key component now. So through this smart edu system, we can track each and everything through this system. And at the same time, we also developed goedu.ac because a lot of the students, due to this kind of pandemic, like they cannot go to the friend house, they cannot go to the party, they cannot go to any event. So this time, we are also giving them the opportunity to complete some free courses through this goedu platform. And some of them are minimum price. And we also developed a blended learning center so that the digital student by online class, they can get it from wherever they are staying, it doesn't matter. So almost more than very close to the 9,000 courses is already now uploaded in the blended learning center. And as I already mentioned, the smart edu system. So the smart edu system, the virtual education environment, and all of the people, faculty, students, they can interact with each other. They can collaborate, they can track what activities is going on. As I mentioned, this 50+ module we developed. So everything, hall management, admission, mentoring, monitoring system, physical health, everything we develop between this time. And we try to nurturing creativity, reduce student dropout, zero infrastructure cost, and easy teaching. Lot of factors and skill analysis. We develop a lot of the skill tests, and definitely, as I already mentioned, because we already try to automate it or all of the activities based on the smart data analysis. We also develop between this time the virtual educate. The virtual educate means, that a lot of cases students cannot able to come to the lab, they cannot come to any event. Still, I think whole COVID time we organized a lot of events. I think a few hundred events we organized nationally and internationally. So these sorts of this event, our student or our any of the parents or our well-wisher, they can enjoy through this virtual game. So they cannot realize that it is really they are not sitting in the inside the auditorium. So this feeling is the just I should say that the technological feeling will be slightly different than the physical, but there is a lot of this value-added facility we already try to introduce in this virtual platform. So this is we just also just few days back our admission fair also we conducted through this virtual education. So the student and parents and everyone, they are getting information and they can take the admission and they can chat, they can download and they can interact and they can see their respective lab. They are talking with the relevant teacher. So everything they can conduct it through this virtual educate platform. So again, as I already mentioned, due to cause of this COVID-19, we need to organize our virtual farewell ceremony, especially for our foreign students, because they were leaving our country. So at the same time, I should say that this is the one, that's maybe a lot of you know the LEM. In 1995, he already mentioned that in the past, people came to the information which was stored in the university. In the future, the information will come on the people wherever they are. What then is the role of the university? I hope that my earlier slide and presentation will giving some indication that what should be our next step to utilize the technology as much as possible. So thank you very much. And thank you very much to all of the organizer and the people, those who join in this session. Wish all of you good luck.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khan, for sharing all those information with us. Dr. Khan, through his talk, has given us all a challenge to rethink our way of teaching. He has mentioned about the personalized adapted learning and reimagining assessment. And as he has stated on his first slide, universities need to provide unrivaled student experience and be at the forefront of knowledge creation to remain relevant in the age of education. Now, the question remains, are we up to the challenge? I hope we all are for the sake of our students. So now the floor is open for questions for Dr. Khan. The first question, Dr. Khan, is from Mr. Kikuchi. How do you think Education 4.0 affects the role of educators and the university?
Well, as I already mentioned, this physical education, because the education 4 will be the one of the factor, that due to cause of this technological development like Google or YouTube or social networking, whatever we are asking, I think we can easily ask to the Google uncle, right? They are giving the instant direction or the information. So next education 4 also we need to ensure in such a way, the student whenever they will come to the university, they can get their proper career guideline. They should know that what way or what should be the best technique to learn them and to fit them to the job market. Because at the end of the day, the student after graduation, they are eager to enter to the career or job market. So that is why I should say that whenever the student, even the teacher also need to understand that in my classroom, the 40 student, among them, 2 of them has the ability to become the faculty. 4 of them has the ability to become the entrepreneur. 10 of them to ability to become the good professional. So these sorts of matter also need to be getting data and analysis properly through this education for. Otherwise, what will happen in the long run, the university, the faculty or the education sector will be in question. Why student will come to the university? Because everything they can get from their home, from their internet. So why they are coming for getting this graduation or degree? Is it only for the certificate? Of course not. Of course not. So that is why I should say that we need to ensure this all of this component as I already mentioned. Thank you.
It should be a holistic development of the student, not just on the cognitive. Anyway, another question, sir, from Mr. Cruz. If Education 4.0 is the future of teaching, how equipped Daffodil International University is?
Well, as I already mentioned, because from the day one, when there is a pandemic is already coming, honestly speaking, we are very much just worried about the first time. But luckily, we focus that no, there is no way we will focus in the technology. We will focus with all of the education for and industry revolution for, and we focus to the industry outcome-based education. And honestly speaking, 2 to 3 months from April, May, June, these 3 months, we conducted unbelievable workshop. I'm sure that our faculty was become tired because in that time, some of them is also feeling their unhappiness, also showing their unhappiness for continuous training. But now they feel confident. They told them, oh my God, we are happy, we are proud because the way we already got the training, now we can easily run the whole operation. Our students are quite happy. And you see, you will be surprised. Few months back, we conducted one survey to our student, and 70% student they are already giving the support that our blending learning center is now more accurate than physical education. So that is our success. So that's why I should say our university, whatever initiative we are taking in the preliminary stage of the COVID-19, is really we are in sustainable mood now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kan. So another question, Dr. Kan, from Mam Ramos. As education is becoming a more personalized activity in which the pace of teaching and learning is customized to each individual person, do you think there will come a time when teachers will be obsolete?
Yeah, but again, it will be depend on the teacher. Because if the teacher is already equipped properly, I'm sure that teacher always will be the most respective and most targeted point. Of course, it will be reduced, no doubt, but not much. So that's why what happened. The problem is the teacher need to be developed themselves. As I repeatedly mentioned, if the teacher is not developed, then it may be once upon a time the teacher will be. Honestly speaking, what we did we developed the system as I already mentioned, Smart Edu. There is one analytic tools we developed. So the tools is every month the tools itself is identified that who is teacher's performance is 100%, 90%, 80%, 70%, 60%. So we already defined that if your performance is below 70%, that means you need to develop, you need to go to the training, you should equip yourself to cope up with the scenario. Otherwise, in the long run, you cannot sustain. And honestly speaking, a few of our faculty is already left our university in the last, I should say, the 6 to 7 months. The reason why? Because those who are thinking that, no, I like to stay in comfort zone, I like to change my lifestyle, I'll not go to the technology. So we humbly request them that please, there is a lot of university, they will accept you. So please leave our university if you think that you cannot cope up with the system, because we don't like to deprive our students. That is one of our commitments. So I hope that the teacher, those who will be creative, innovative, and really teacher, I must say that whenever you will come in to be to choose as a profession as a teacher, so that means you are committed. You are committed to develop your student, because you see that how much time you are giving to your son and daughter or your family. I think you are giving the more times to your student. So why not you can develop the students considering that they are your kids, they are your family, because maybe in your old days or retired days, they can be your source of energy. Thank you.
So it is a challenge for us educators to make ourselves relevant so that we will not be obsolete, we will not be left behind. So there is someone raising his hand, Mr. or Miss Yoko Kawazima. You have a question for Dr. Kan?
Yes, actually, you can call me Elizabeth. I am from LPU Cavite in the Philippines. Good afternoon, Dr. Kan. I was listening and I am awed and excited about the future, because we are going to thrive within the pandemic. But one question is, I'm from the Philippines and my school is a private school. Everything you said, it's very good, it's very exciting, but there is something we are forgetting. Everything costs money. Our school is private, so we are getting our income from our students. So to implement all those things, to be able to deliver very good education during this time, everything is online. It's going to put some pressure on our customers, our students, to be, adding more money so that things will be good. So what I want to hear from you, sir, especially from third world countries, how are we going to talk to people from these kind of places to be able to make it relevant today when there is that economics, we're talking economics, to be able to do all these exciting things?
Thank you very much. I think it's a very good question, because of course I'm also agree with you with this concept. So this one, what happened, you need to talk with the three stakeholders. One is the provider. Like I just give you one example, say mobile operator. What we did, we talk with the mobile operator. We try to negotiate with them to reduce some pricing to the student. So we give them our student mobile number. So they already allocate some discount to the student, considering this pandemic or considering the financial, because every student are not in the financially problem. So those students are financially problem. We are trying to taking help from the mobile operator. And at the same time, from our university also, we take some initiative. We also take initiative from our university also to helping them financially. Like sometimes we're giving them 30% discount, sometimes we're giving them 20% discount, sometimes we're giving them there's some of the other area also we organize some scholarship. So these sorts of facility we are trying from the university. And third, around the government and other body. I think I'm sure that Philippine in your country is also, there is a lot of this initiative by the government or the financial institute. So we talk with some of the financial institute also to helping our students. Though it is not much significant, I should say, but again, it is a significant, I should say, impact is coming. Say another example I should tell you. Before 6 years back, we implemented one insurance for our parents. No. So what happened? This COVID-19, a lot of the students they're losing their parents, their father or mother, they died in this COVID-19. So luckily, from our insurance, they got the full coverage. So without any money, they can continue their study to the university. So when the COVID-19 is coming to in our country or world scenario, we again do another insurance coverage for the health medical insurance. Because earlier it was not involved in our insurance. So now we just giving some premium in every month. You already understand about this one. So now what happened? If the student parents become disabled, or they are anyhow they become the handicap, I think they will get also this same insurance coverage from our university. So these sorts of facility need to be initiated from the university top management. I'm sure there is not much impact or not much responsibility should be coming by the faculty. The management, but again, the faculties should be part of the management. They can propose or they can bring the idea to the management, because always management cannot do everything, right?
Thank you very much, Dr. Khan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khan. I've heard it, and I am going to think about it. Yes.
Is it the LPU Lyceum University?
Yes, I'm from Lyceum of the Philippines University in.
So your president, my good friend Peter Lauren, I think he is one of these good organizer and good leader. So I'm sure that you should propose what exactly I give the idea, because I'm sure that he's also very open-minded. Maybe he can also work with all of the relevant stakeholders.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Dr. Khan. I noticed of your presentation that you presented the virtual admission that you did in your university. May I know how that innovative strategy of yours impacted your prospective client as well, of course, to your operation?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this, if you are interested, we can send you this full video demo. I think our international department, Mr. Raihan I'm seeing him here. So I think he will send you some information so you can get the idea how we conducted it. We love to share our experience with any university because this pandemic already we're giving you a lot of this opportunity to work in the virtually. And I already mentioned, because in virtual admission or still now, any student or any parent, they can talk, they can visit to the lab, they can visit to the classroom, they can get any information, they can download all of the brochure, they can send their payment also, because we developed one system, payment gateway also. So maybe some cases, whatever bank or whatever credit card or whatever payment system they are maintaining, it doesn't matter. So we developed a payment system which we call one card. So whatever card or whatever payment system you have, through this one card, we can also collect his payment also. And through this system, we also collected our tuition fee last pandemic. So I hope that if you let us know your email ID or this organizer, I hope that our team will send you this all information.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so let me proceed to the certificate of recognition. Let me read the citation. This certificate of recognition is hereby presented to Dr. M.D. Sabur Khan in grateful recognition and contribution as a resource speaker on a topic Education 4.0 in the first International IT Educators Conference 2021 with the theme Breaking Barriers Towards a Resilient and Innovative IT Nation, held via Zoom meeting on October 6 to 7, 2021, given the 6th day of October 2021. Signed by Professor Dr. M.D. Fokre Hussain, Director of International Affairs in Daffodil International University, Dr. Neil P. Balba, PSITE National President, and Mr. Christian G. Kikuchi, PSITE Calabarzon President. Again, thank you very much, Dr. Khan.
Pleasure. Thank you.